let the games begin.
Go back 12 for me. Yeah, you did. That was silly. Oh, that was the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. If there's a cheer near me, I'm going to break it.
Alex FERREIRA does it.
Scotty James just nano snap.
Oh, my goodness.
Get your protractor out of your fanny pack.
Well, hi there. Welcome to our official X Games Aspen preview show. I am Brandon Graham, and I can't tell you how excited I am to talk with y'all right here, right now. I speak for the entire X Games family when I say we've missed you. It is crazy to think that it's been almost a year since X Games last put on an event, but as you know, 2020, things happened. But we're excited to bring you X Games Aspen 2021 going down January 29th through the 31st. So last year, if you remember, X Games Aspen went off without a hitch. And then a month later, we traveled to Norway for X Games Norway, two hugely successful events, rich in storylines, which we're going to be getting into today. And I'm excited to preview everything X Games Aspen this year. Joining me will be our ski analyst, X Games legend, Tom Wallisch, and of course, the voice of snowboarding, the pro, my partner, Craig McMorris. They'll both be joining me a little later in the show. But like I said before, really excited to get this thing going. It's been long overdue, but X Games is back, and we got to start with the heavy hitters. Returning to X Games Aspen this year in the Super Pipe on the men's side, Shaun White. We have not seen him at X Games Aspen. We haven't seen him at X Games, period, since 2017. Shaun has not medaled at X Games since 2013. Chew on that, but he is still the pillar of the pipe. And it will be so amazing to watch him battle it out against Scotty James, who's trying to make it a three-peat in Aspen. That will be a battle to watch in the pipe on the men's side in snowboarding. And then how about Chloe Kim? After taking a year off to take her freshman year at Princeton University last year, we wondered, will we see Chloe Kim again on a snowboard on the professional stage? Yes. She returned to Aspen, a course that has become her playground there at the Super Pipe over the last few years. We're so excited to welcome back Chloe Kim. I've said many a times, there's no one more dominant, male or female, in the pipe than Chloe Kim. Even taking a year off, she has to be considered a heavy favorite heading into that contest. But so many exciting things going down. The return, of course, of Knuckle Huck. We've seen it the last couple of winters in snowboarding. It made its debut in Aspen just last year on the ski side. COLBY Stevenson, the X Games rookie, taking the gold there in Aspen. And then we go to X Games Norway, and it was Alex Hall winning. I think there's a rivalry brewing between those two, and it should be the ultimate rubber match come X Games Aspen 2021 for that ski knuckle huck. And of course, we cannot forget Mr. Big Air superstar himself, HENRIK HARLAUT. That's a contest that was really made for him. Now, in Big Air, HENRIK HARLAUT stands above the rest. He broke a tie he had with Tanner Hall for overall X Games medals in that event. We'll see if he can find some success on the ski Big Air stage. But so much to get to. We're so excited to talk about it, and we will talk about it when we return. Tom Wallisch and Craig McMorris join me to preview the entire three-day extravaganza. Don't go anywhere. More from the X Games Aspen preview show after this.
It's been a long year and we've missed you, but it's time to get back to the mountains. Introducing the return of X Games Aspen.
That was silly.
Get your protractor out of your fanny pack. Featuring the world's best and brightest ski and snowboard athletes.
Yeah, you did. Perfect.
Alex FERREIRA does it.
With events that include Super Pipe, Slopestyle, Big Air, and Knuckle Huck.
Yes! Oh my
gosh, what just happened? Coming to Buttermilk Mountain in Aspen, Colorado in January 29th through the 31st, 2021. Stay tuned for more details.
Welcome back to World of X Games. I'm now joined alongside my broadcast partner, professional snowboarder, former reality TV star, current YouTube sensation, Craig McMorris. Did I get the resume right, my friend?
That's a lot of accolades, and I don't think I do any of them good. But they say don't be a master of one, be good at a bunch of stuff, and that's what I'm going for this year.
No one says that. But really excited to talk about X Games Aspen on the snowboarding side with you, my friend. First of all, just can't wait to get in the booth with you. I don't even know what protocol is going to be. Maybe we'll even be in two separate studios watching two different contests. I don't know, but I'm excited to come to Buttermilk and see your smiling face. But we kick off Friday, day one of X Games Aspen with women's snowboard slopestyle. And as you know, Jamie Anderson has been the queen of this event forever. Won her 6th gold medal last year in the event in Aspen. But Zoe Sadowski-Synnott, she coming in hot, okay? The young Kiwi, 19 years old. I mean, Jamie is an anomaly, okay? She is phenomenal at what she does. What she does is she goes out and wins snowboard slopestyle contests, no matter the conditions, no matter the jumps, no matter the rails. She is going to put it down. And I feel, Brandon, we've always had kind of a rival, you know? The Japanese a little bit. Now we have Zoe. She's a major rival, but just Jamie Anderson has been so dominant for so long. And if you ever bet against her, she will literally slap you in the face because she comes so correct. But if anybody is going to beat her at this year's X Games, it's going to be the young Kiwi, as she did in X Games Norway from Jamie Anderson. She's going to have to shut that window. And I think she has done the work to shut that window. It's can she put it down here in Aspen? Yeah, and another name that we'll certainly talk about when we get to women's snowboard big air, but that is Anna Gasser, who obviously has the tricks. She is one of the most talented snowboarders in the world. There's no doubt about that. We're all so excited to see, will she bring the triple in big air? But she certainly is not a one-trick pony.
I mean, she has been putting down double corks for years. Anna Gasser has been doing that, and then she's been adding a bunch of new double corks. If she can put all those down in a run, that will be groundbreaking, because we have seen doubles in women's slopestyle. I don't think we've ever seen double the entire way down the slopestyle course. 2021 could be the year.
Well, who better to preview all things skiing at X Games Aspen 2021 than the voice of skiing at X Games, an X Games gold medalist, a legend of the game, Tom Wallisch. Tom, what's cracking, man?
Not too much, Brando. Good to catch up. I'm actually out here in the urban environment filming for the season, so we're out in the snow and just happy to be back, but looking forward to X Games 2021. I mean, this is gonna be a big one.
Tom, it's good to see you in your natural habitat of the streets in PA, man. Well, we kick things off Friday with the ladies, women's ski big air. And this has been a fun one to watch the last couple of years.
This is the event almost that is the showcase event for me. I mean, the women, where like the guys are doing some crazy tricks, the women have been taking it to another level recently, like multiple double corks. In Aspen, we saw so much variety of the double cork. It's not just one lady doing this. It's all the women, different directions, switch and regular. I mean, that event was jump off. It had me really excited. I can't wait to see what goes down this year.
TESS LEDEUX came correct. She looked so good skiing. She really looked good starting in 2019, really what we saw at X Games Norway. And then Megan Oldham, who's just 19 years old now, taking a surprising X Games gold in Norway, her first X Games gold medal.
Megan coming out of nowhere. I actually, I saw her up in Whistler on the glacier one summer, learning her first double cork, and I knew right away watching her, like, this girl's got talent. And coming into Norway, she, I mean, skied great, but TESS, if she's healthy and she comes back from that knee injury solid, I mean, she was on a tear before that knee injury. So she's the girl to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, no question. And of course, we're going to be talking about her throughout this show because she's such a triple threat, but that's Kelly SILDARU.
Yeah, in big air, in any event she enters ski related, I mean, she's a podium threat. The thing is, I've never seen her do the double cork. So she's got 1260s, she's got big rotations left and right, a lot of variety, but the women are doing double corks now. That's the hardest, that's the most challenging trick. Does she have one? Has she been training when we haven't been watching? What's going on?
All right, we welcome back in Craig McMorris. Friday night under the lights, snowboard knuckle huck.
I love knuckle huck. The people love knuckle huck. Everybody loves knuckle huck, and everybody loved last year's gold medalist, Brando Zeb Powell.
He was outstanding, seemingly came out of nowhere. I mean, obviously, if you follow him on social, you know what he's about, hitting the streets. This contest was perfectly made for him.
And it's unfortunate, Zeb Powell unable to defend his gold this year with a knee injury that's got him sidelined, so he won't be there. But no worries, all of your favorite riders, of course, still competing in knuckle huck, including the gold medalist from X Games Norway 2020,
Marcus Cleveland.
Yeah, Marcus Cleveland, we played around with the name. I think knuckle huck is perfect, but I think for a little while, X Games organizers were wondering if they should call it the Marcus Cleveland Invitational, because this was something that he really ushered in. Didn't find the win in Aspen, but did take home the top spot in X Games Norway.
This kid is a freak. I'm going to be honest with you. He makes my job almost impossible because he starts spinning and flipping so fast before, after, and during this entirety of the event that I just can't even name some of the tricks. He's doing new stuff all the time. And you can probably see steam coming out of my ears when I'm trying to watch it.
And let's just get in front of this right now, Craig. Obviously, we'll be on the call.
Yep.
Comment section, do not get frustrated if we're not calling every single trick in knuckle huck, because I challenge you to try to do it. It's an impossible task. And before we finish up our thoughts on this, as you said, Fridge, who is really near and dear to our hearts, on top of winning the inaugural knuckle huck. For those who have not seen him before, he does ride with a backpack attached to him at all times.
And I like how you said near and dear, because as a lot of people know, he is one of our best friends. You know, they always think it's you, me, but it's you, me, and Fridge, really, when it comes to it, down to it.
Yeah, classic sitcom situation, the three of us.
Exactly.
Finally, another name that I think if we brought in any other snowboard contest this year, he would somehow try to register for it, because he is the hardest working man in snowboarding, and that is Rene Renekongas.
I mean, he's blown us out of the water every single year because he competes in almost every single event, and he brings so much energy to every single event. But I mean, I think he's going to have energy because it's at the start of the week. Last year was at the end of the week, and I remember talking to him. He's like, I'm kind of tired. I'm like, yeah, you are. But now he's coming in with 100% battery, so I think he's not going to have any issues there.
Also on day one of X Games Aspen, the ladies hit the super pipe at Buttermilk. Obviously, this one's always a show. Kelly Sildaru and Cassie Sharp are certainly the two skiers to watch, as they are year in, year out.
Yeah, the difference there, Cassie always comes with the amplitude and the big spins with the corks, where Kelly is pure technicality. I mean, she's got spins in every direction, left, right, forward, and switch. And what's going to make the difference this year? Is it going to be that amplitude, or is it going to be the tricks themselves that really stand out? I'm excited to watch those two really battle it out in the super pipe.
Yeah, Kelly Sildaru is your defending gold medalist that she won in 2020, becoming the youngest to ever win in that discipline when she did it at just 17 years old. But there's a rookie in this field too that we should keep our eyes on, correct?
Yeah, there's a rookie, Eileen Gu. She is up and coming. On the World Cup circuit, she's had some success, but X Games rookie, I mean, in superpipe and in slopestyle, she is the girl to watch out for. She unique grabs, big amplitude and technicality. So Kelly and Cassie, you're going to have to watch your back.
We continue our preview coverage with men's ski superpipe under the lights and Friday night X Games Aspen. This one is always so much fun to watch. We've seen, and who can forget, the last couple of years, Aspen local boy Alex Ferreira going back-to-back gold in 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, Alex Ferreira, so exciting to watch. But, I mean, there's other men to watch out for. You got David Wise, who double Olympic gold medalist, so many X Games medals. Like, there's so much talent in that field to battle Alex. How do you stay on top? 2 years in a row, how do you keep up that momentum? What do you train? What new tricks do you learn to be able to kind of fuel yourself to still try that hard to win? But he's got his work cut out for him. There's so many other people to watch out for. Aaron Blanc, who's got new double corks and just a variety of switch things. I mean, men's super pipe is so competitive. Alex being able to dominate these last 2 years, you're going to have to come take it from him, boys.
Day one preview in the books, but don't worry, we're just getting started. When we return here on World of X Games, we preview all of the action for day 2 at X Games Aspen. Stick around. Welcome back to World of X Games. It's our X Games Aspen preview show. Again, joining the show, Tom Wallisch, who will have the call. Day 2, we begin previewing Saturday at Aspen. Really my favorite day traditionally at X Games Aspen, the start of the weekend. And we start off with a heater, Tom. Ooh. Women's ski slope style. There's so many talented skiers in this field, and I may sound like a broken record on this show, but we've got to begin the conversation with Kelly SILDARU. She's so talented, but this may be her very best event, Tom. She's competed in it 4 times at X Games, and she's won 4 gold medals.
Those are good odds, 100%. I mean, Kelly, her prowess on the rails is what really helps her stand out in slopestyle. I mean, she's great at the jump. She's got big spins in both directions, but she is light years ahead of the other women on the rails. Her technical tricks, the 630s out, the switch ups are all so ahead of the game. She got a 99 last time. I mean, that is a top-notch score. So, Kelly, I mean, we can't talk about her enough. She is dominant in slopestyle.
A 99 she scored in 2019. That's the highest single score we've ever seen, man or woman, in that discipline, ski or snowboard. So she's already hit that legendary mode. Still just 18 years old, by the way. She's tied with SHAUN White and Nyjah Houston with 9 X Games medals during her teenage years. Methinks she will be alone at the top of that record by the end of X Games Aspen 2021. But there are other names in this contest, some really talented skiers who you think might really give Kelly a run for her money this year.
Yeah, there's so much other talent. We talked about it with women's ski big air, the double corks and the variety of double corks, something we haven't seen Kelly do and something some of the other women are great at. I mean, Mathilde Grimaud out of Switzerland, really solid tricks, crazy double corks. You got TESS LEDEUX, and then an X Games rookie, Eileen Gu, one to watch out for. Double corks, get this, to the left and to the right.
I look at this list, such a talented field, and this is one where we've really seen the best shine brightest on the biggest stage, of course, that being X Games Aspen. We bring back Craig McMorris to break down snowboard slope style. Last year, almost felt like maybe we were seeing a little bit of a changing of the guard. Saw some guys up on the podium that we didn't see last year, or ever for that matter, headlined by your defending gold medalist, Darcy Sharp, who I know you know very well. And it's unfortunate, as news recently broke, that he will be unable to compete this year. Such a bummer, because he looked so good last year.
This is my little quote for last year. New format, new faces, you know? We have Darcy. I mean, I don't think anybody would have bet on him taking that X Games gold, but he came, and he came correct. Now, unfortunately, he had a bit of a knee injury. Unfortunately, we won't see him there, but we will see 10 other athletes who, I mean, I don't want to be on the panel who has to pick this list, because it is tough. Knocking the world's best slopestyle athletes down to just 10. I mean, in this field alone, Brandon, 9 of the 10 already have an X Games slopestyle medal. That's crazy.
We have to obviously talk about little brother Mark McMorris, who made history last year by earning his 20th, that's XX, my friend, X Games medal. He stands alone when it comes to winter athletes. How's his mindset heading into 2021 here?
Well, I think every athlete who's won something, when you've won something and you're going back to that event, you want something that you can sink your teeth into, something that you know can kind of chase. And I know for Mark, it was catching up to Shaun and passing Shaun for the most winter X Games medals of all time, and he's got that. Now what is he sitting behind? Well, he's sitting behind PLG for all-time X Games medals. If he gets one here, he ties. If he gets two, he passes PLG. That puts him solidly into 5th of all time. So I feel like as an athlete, you want to have something you can bite, you can chase, you can feel. Why am I trying to win this medal? Well, A, it's an X Games gold medal, silver, bronze, what have you. But hey, I'm moving up the list in history. There's going to be something solidified. So I think that's where Mark's head's at, and I think he's going to chase onto that little nugget there, if you will.
All right, we move on from men's snowboard slopestyle to women's snowboard big air. And Craig McMorris, what a battle it was last year. Some names I want to get to, but first and foremost, you have to give it up for Japan, the Japanese sweep last year, 2020 in X Games Aspen. That was something really extraordinary to see.
Now, I feel like, Brandon, we have talked about Japan for so long. You know, there's been 1 or 2 athletes who were like, you have to watch. This is going to be the person on the podium. Finally, I think that that sweep has really put the world. We've always talked, hey, this athlete, but last year's big air was just, I mean, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but the dragons finally arrived. They finally came over.
Geez, spoiler. There's some people that are a few seasons behind, Craig. Yes, Miyabi Onitsuka, your defending gold medalist, Kokomo Murase, and then Leila Iwabuchi rounded out our top 3. But the name I really want to get to, Craig, is, of course, Anna Gasser, who has landed the triple, not in contest, but we knew she was coming to Aspen, hoping to unveil that on snowboarding's biggest stage. And while she didn't pull it off, it wasn't for a lack of trying. Anna Gasser, medals be damned. She came to do one thing, and it was amazing to watch her huck herself, attempt after attempt, trying to get that triple.
Yeah, I mean, you remember in the booth, we were both saying, don't even try. You're not going fast enough. She had people pulling her down the drop-in to get even that little bit more speed. So I think if she would have been able to go a little bit faster, it would have changed everything. But hindsight is 2020. Now, I don't think in 2021, she is going to try that again. Okay, the big air is on the final jump of the slopestyle. So I don't know if it'll be as big as the big air jump was last year. If it's not as big, she definitely will not try it. If it is as big, she may try it, but I think she's going to have more of a competitive edge. I think she'll try and put down a trick first and then go to the triple, as opposed to last year where she came out swinging.
But what are you looking for here in Aspen this year?
I think it's going to be a very different big air contest, simply because the riders are going to get to ride this jump way more than they would in the past, right? So you do slopestyle practice, you go home, you rest, you stretch, you have some food, you go back and you do big air practice. Totally different jump. Everything is new. You're kind of working it out there. Whereas this year, I mean, it's the last jump of the slopestyle event. So you ride that practice. And then if you want to go back and just keep riding the same jump, you've been riding all day, great. If you don't, you've still practiced on it, right? So I think we're going to see a lot more landed runs, in my opinion. I think people are going to be a lot more used to the jump.
Well, when we return, day 2 becomes night 2. We preview men's ski, big air, and of course the return of Chloe Kim in snowboard superpipe.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
And we're back. It's the X Games Aspen preview show. Brando alongside Tom Wallisch. Tom, Saturday night, under the lights. It wouldn't be X Games Aspen without men's ski big air. And it certainly wouldn't be X Games without HENRIK HARLAUT competing.
Oh, man. HENRIK HARLAUT just dominating last year. It was so impressive to watch with the new format, the ability to just go trick for trick. Landed every single run, new and progressive tricks, triple corks, 1620s, like numbers I can't even count that high, and he was just dominating. But I mean, men's ski big air, there's a lot to talk about, a lot of other athletes, and maybe this will be the year we finally see a quadruple cork go down. I don't know.
Don't you dare threaten me with a good time, Tom. But as you mentioned, there are so many talented skiers in this field. Certainly Burke Ruud, James Woods, who I'm really excited about. Woodsy is certainly a fan favorite and a favorite of ours. Injuries have really plagued him the last couple of seasons.
If I know Woodsy, he's going to have a smile on his face and just be so amped that no one's going to be able to slow him down. But, I mean, so much other talent to talk about. Burke Ruud, we can't forget about him. You mentioned earlier the 1800 he did last year almost spun into the future. We almost lost him in the DeLorean to wherever they ended up. I mean, that's a massive trick. If he can throw some stuff down like that, HENRIK might have his work cut out for him.
Yeah. And there's, again, Andre Regitley, Alex Hall, who's had so much success, but especially in Knucklehuck, which we'll get to a little bit later. But he, along with ABM and Quinn Wolferman, Evan McCarthy. I'm just really excited about this roster.
It could go any way. You need a few tricks now, not just one big air. You need to show variety and unique rotations and grabs, and whoever does that is going to be walking away with gold.
We welcome back in Craig McMorris to break down women's snowboard super pipe, and I'm trying to think if there's any storyline worth getting into right out. Oh, Chloe Kim! The return of CK1 after a year of schooling at Princeton. She is back in the mix here at X Games Aspen, and all is right in the world.
Was that ever an option for you, just to take a year off of your day job and go to Princeton for one?
No, I'd never heard back from admissions.
I didn't even know there was an admissions. I thought they just kind of pick you.
I have to explain the educational system here in the States to you sometime.
A little different up north.
But even with a year off, she has to be considered the odds-on favorite to win gold again.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't show that dominance and then just forget about somebody. You know, she has tricks that still to this day nobody can match. That being said, I mean, you got to throw in MADDIE Mastro. She is the woman who I have been by far the most impressed with, just by far on social media. She is snowboarding so much. And I've said this so many times. The people who are the best in the world are the best because they spend the most amount of time on their board. And MADDIE Mastro has been spending a lot of time on her board. I think that she really has last year's event in the back of her mind. She wants to bring a double crippler to the X Games, okay? Obviously, 2019, conditions didn't work out. 2020, she went down on it. This year, though, I don't think she can make a mistake. She has done so many of them in training. She's done a couple in other contests. And I think this is the year we see MADDIE Mastro bring that never-seen double crippler.
So now I ask you, looking at this field and just getting a feel for women's snowboard super pipe, is it really Chloe against herself, or is it MADDIE Mastro or someone else that's really going to try to take it to her here in 2021?
I think MADDIE Mastro has put in the work. I think she's right there. But if we see a Chloe Kim of old, if we see Chloe Kim with her cheat codes on, like she usually brings to the X Games, I don't think she could be touched. But, I mean, a year is a long time, okay? And when you're spending a year not competing, you never really know what it's like to put the bib on again. So we'll see.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Colby Stevenson walks out of here and he takes a gold.
Jamie Anderson, X Games gold medal, the 17th of her career. And Castellet does it!
Who will make the X Games Stag Celebration Zone? Tune in to see. St. Hubert's the Stag, a wine of a different breed. Well, stick around here on World of X Games. When we return on our X Games Aspen preview show, it's the return of SHAUN White.
Wow. That is why this dude is SHAUN White. A perfect 100.
What's up? You're watching the X Games Aspen preview show here on World of X Games. Brando alongside Tom Wallisch, and we are breaking down the third and final day of X Games Aspen, and we kick it off with men's ski slopestyle. So much parity in this event. I hate to say it's wide open, but it really is when you look back at the numbers.
Yeah, really with men's ski slopestyle, the doors seems to always be wide open. There's always a new winner. There's different variety, whoever's day it is. I mean, Colby Stevenson, X Games rookie, coming out in 2020 in Aspen, was just dominant. Did so many runs with so much variety. It always sort of showcases one person's skills. So a certain rail feature or the shape of a jump or the shape of the takeoff leads to somebody else doing better. And that's what makes this event so exciting. You really don't know what you're going to get.
How about a guy like Nick Gepper, who's been such a mainstay in this discipline for so long? What has given him sort of the staying power to continue to compete amongst the top 10 in the world annually?
Nick was challenging me when I competed and beating me at a lot of events, let's be honest. But it's just so impressive that he's still able to put together these runs. And it's really his air awareness, variety of tricks, both directions, including triple corks to the left and right. So he stands out. I mean, this could be his year. Another guy, Alex Hall, another one to watch out for. He's got the grab. Alex has the seatbelt grab, reaching over his body, all this variety and creativity on the actual grab portion of the tricks. Everybody has their sort of nuances that they excel at, and I think it just depends who's got the new trick or the new grab to stand out that can really impress those judges with sort of a first-time look at something.
What are they going to get and expect from Andre Regetley, who's coming to really defend his gold from Norway last year?
Yeah, he's defending to us. I mean, him and Nick both have that air awareness. Andre's got a quadruple cork in his bag, so let's be honest, he knows how to spin and flip. And in Norway, he was able to excel on the rails a bit more than I've ever seen. He was able to push the limits technically, also be a little bit more creative. So I think if he can do those jumps that we know he's capable of and also add some flavor on the rails, bring some variety, more than just basic spins on and off the rails, something unique, I mean, he could easily keep that train moving forward and end up on the top spot again.
And we welcome back in Craig McMorris, Snowboard Superpipe. This has been the Scotty James show for the last couple of years, and rightfully so, because pound for pound, I don't know if we've seen anyone more technically sound in the pipe in the history of men's snowboard superpipe. But Scotty is not the guy getting the headlines heading into next week, because Shaun White is scheduled to make his X Games Aspen return. We have not seen him at Buttermilk since 2017.
And we have not seen Shaun White on the podium of an event he has made so famous since 2013. So what kind of Shaun White will we see? Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's a very long time to not ride into an X Games Superpipe.
No one more dominant on the men's side than him. It took him to global superstardom, really in the prime of his career. So I ask you, Craig, obviously the last time these guys squared off against one another, goodness, maybe it was the Olympics in 2018 where Shaun White won gold. Perhaps there's been a contest since then, but you have to wonder, does that leer its head at all in the back of the competitors' minds? As you said, what does Shaun White have? He's got nothing left to prove, but he's obviously coming to Aspen for a particular reason. Scotty James has been so hot the last couple of seasons, though.
I think Shaun has something to prove to himself. I feel Shaun never would compete in an event unless he felt like he could win. So it kind of petered off there a little bit at the end, and we'll see if he still has that mindset coming into 2021. But in my opinion, Brando, Scotty James is the king. He is the one to beat. Last year was a perfect example. I mean, he did so many different runs. He did so many insane tricks. And I mean, 3 of the 4 last years, Scotty has taken the gold medal in a very stacked field. So he's the king, and I think it's going to be hard to dethrone him.
Yeah, and obviously we've got to mention a couple of other names. Headlined by Danny Davis, your favorite snowboarder's favorite snowboarder. It's been a few years since he's been on the top spot at X Games Aspen, but certainly no one brings his flair, his particular style to this pipe. He really stands alone in that regard.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's kind of taken that direction of snowboarding and said, you know what, maybe I'm not going to beat Scotty with a front 12 or cab 12 or a back 12, but I'm going to do a switch method. I'm going to boost that and I'm going to put on a show. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is putting on a show for the fans at Aspen and the fans at home, and honestly for us. I love a good show, and Danny Davis, he always brings a good show.
And lastly, Yuto Totsuka, we have to talk about Yuto. He had such an amazing season and looked really good in this pipe last year. And there are so many heavy hitters. It would be easy for him to be looked over, but he should not be glossed over.
He goes so big, Brandon, that it scares me so much because the Pitkin County Airport is very, very close to Buttermilk, and those planes are coming and landing. And sometimes when Yuto does that first air, I think he might hit a plane. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I mean, you can't gloss over him, as you said. I think this is the most stacked field we have seen in a very, very long time.
All right, Craig, we wrap up our X Games Aspen 2021 snowboarding weekend with an event that perhaps has the best rivalry in the sport, and that is snowboard big air, Mark McMorris versus one Max Perot. And they have given us some beauties over the years, particularly last year, though, in both X Games Aspen and Norway.
Two gladiators in the ring. I mean, they just keep coming back year after year. And I think what I just always has been ingrained in my mind is how hungry both of them are. As soon as they drop in for their first run, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably maybe one or two, but every time they land their first hit. And it's always a back 16 or a switch back 16. And it's just like, boom, okay, let's go. Here we are. And I don't think this year is going to be any different, especially because the big air event is actually on the last jump of slopestyle. So both Max and Mark are going to be training all week for slopestyle. And when it finally comes down Sunday night, they've been riding this for 3 days. I mean, there's going to be very, very few mistakes.
Obviously, Max Perot is one of the most inspirational human beings you will come across in life. His story is well documented at this time, but obviously it bears repeating. In 2019, he essentially took the entire season off because he had cancer, and he was going through his cancer treatment and taking chemo, and he had on his list, I'm going to be ready for X Games Norway in 2019. And my goodness, he pulled it off. Won gold. Storybook moment. It was our number one moment from X Games 2019, of course. And then he picks up where he left off in 2020 in Aspen, winning gold. He now has 6 big air golds, 10 big air medals overall. That's the most, respectively, in snowboard.
Kind of want to big picture this really quick, Brando. I know we're talking men's big air, but I really want to talk about X Games 2021 because in this entire preview show, we've talked about so many individuals who will be competing at this X Games who are currently holding or about to break records. When do you have the greatest of all times competing all at the same X Games? We have it in women's superpipe. We have it in men's big air. We have it in men's slopestyle. We have it in women's slopestyle. I mean, the greatest of all time will be competing in 2021. And I mean, capping that off with the men's big air event, Max, Mark, and the rest of the field. I mean, it's priceless.
I do want to ask you though, partner, as you said, this isn't the dedicated single big air jump that we've come to know at Buttermilk. It is the final kicker in the slopestyle course. Does that favor anyone else, particularly in this field, that perhaps it wouldn't in a specialized one-off jump, or does it only give that much more credence to a guy like Max or your brother Mark?
I mean, there's going to be slight nuances. I feel this year it won't just be somebody knocking back-to-back 1620s all the way down the landing. Yay, they win. I think there'll be nuances that separate first, second, and third, and it's going to be very, very close. And I love that kind of event. I like when somebody wins because they held on to their grab for one more second than their competitor, where it's not just black and white. I love watching those events, and I know I'm going to love watching this big air in 2021.
And Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't you argue that most of the field shares that same sentiment in that sometimes it's not, the fact that maybe it's not just a big huck contest. Obviously, it's going to be big air. There's no doubt about it. But tricks matter, and the tricks that you do well as a snowboarder matter.
I mean, it's the nuances. Last year, it was, hey, who can go the biggest, do back-to-back 1620s, who does them perfect all the way down the landing? Great. See you later. This year, I think you can only go so big. You can only go so far down the landing, and you can only get so many rotations in that air time. So how are you going to make those rotations better? different than your competitors? Is it going to be a different grab? Is it going to be off the toes? Is it going to be maybe Stahle's double barrel roll? Maybe it's triple barrel roll? I don't know. I think you're going to have to find a way to set yourself apart other than just going absolutely yard and trying a quad, which I'm ecstatic about, because this makes the best snowboarder win, in my opinion.
Well, I'm ecstatic about calling that contest and all of the contests with you. That's going to do it for our snowboarding preview, Craig. Thank you so much for the time. And next time I see you, it'll be in Aspen for X Games.
I'm literally counting the seconds, Brando.
Welcome back to the X Games Aspen preview show here on World of X Games. And we wrap things up, Tom Wallisch, on the ski side at X Games Aspen 2021 with what has quickly become perhaps our favorite event,
Yep.
Ski Knuckle Huck. Before we get into the breakdown of the event, I have to ask you, Tom, you competed in the inaugural Ski Knuckle Huck in Aspen last year. You also handled broadcast duties simultaneously. You were the real MVP in 2020. Let's not get it twisted. Would you be up for round 2 in 2021 if that request came your way?
You know, if that request came in, I might have to consider it. I had so much fun last year skiing in front of a crowd again, skiing on TV again, being in the X Games. But, you know, I'll leave it to the young bucks. They're the ones doing the crazy tricks. It was fun. And being out there, I can tell you firsthand, the vibe, the sort of camaraderie amongst the crew was so much different than any other X Games event. This was a session. This was friends having fun. This was skiing the way it's meant to be felt and seen. And that's what makes Knuckle Huck so fun to watch. I mean, everybody's cheering for each other. You're at the top, high-fiving, yo, that was sick, congratulating each other. It's really this like just fun-loving push of progression and unique flavor. And it's such an awesome event. I can't wait to watch. I mean, if they need me, I'll pop in for a couple runs. I mean, come on, who wouldn't?
So I know this one's tough to handicap because obviously it made its X Games debut, really its global debut, last year in Aspen. And Colby Stevenson, the X Games rookie, went on to win his second gold medal of X Games with that Knuckle Huck performance. And then fast forward to X Games Norway, it was Alex Hall winning. So I don't know if this is the rubber match between those two or if someone else from that field's got something up their sleeve. But those are the two guys so far that have set the bar in Knuckle Huck.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Hall and Colby Stevenson, both U.S.-based guys who, up and coming, they're both younger and they've been around the scene and they know all these varieties of butters and popping off the lip and off the knuckle. And really two guys to watch, but also I thought the event was going to be HENRIK HARLAUT's to lose.
Right.
He is known for the nose butter double cork, was the person to invent that trick. And when this event got announced, I was like, HENRIK, it's got to be HENRIK. It's his to lose. And he just hasn't quite had that, I don't know, that it moment where he's able to put down those tricks in the event. So if it's not Colby or Alex, I mean, HENRIK HARLAUT has to be one of your top picks in this event.
Well, we're excited for all things skiing at X Games Aspen. Why don't you go get warm, and next time we see you, it'll be a buttermilk, my friend.
I can't wait. Let's do some runs.
Well, that's going to do it for us here today. A big thanks to both Craig McMorris and Tom Wallisch for stopping by the show and previewing skiing and snowboarding, respectively. We hope we got you ready for X Games Aspen 2021. Also want to remind you, friends, there's a lot of action going on, not just at X Games. We've also got Rocket League.
This absolutely maniacal.
We've teamed up with Rocket League to bring you the RLCS X Games North American Regional, airing this weekend, right now actually, and live on the ESPN app. Tune in to see who takes home the gold.
Beautiful, little squishy.
And of course, we'd love to have you in the flesh at Buttermilk for X Games Aspen. That just isn't a possibility this year, but that doesn't mean you cannot participate and have some fun. Head over to the brand new Interactive X Fest at xgames.com and you can create your own avatar. I love this. Accessorize your avatar. You're a skier, throw some skis on. Snowboarder, grab the board. Fully customize your own profile there. Discover X Games content, play the Wendy's Knuckle Hook arcade game, watch Monster Energy content, and enter to win one of 2 hilarious snowmobiles. The more you play, the better chances you can win. Head over to xgames.com to register. Well, thanks again for watching. The next time we see you, it'll be for X Games Aspen 2021. I'm Brandon Graham saying thanks so much for watching.
Let the games begin.
The craziest thing I have ever seen in my life.
We have an X Games rookie, Colby Stevenson, walks out of here and he takes a goal.
Into the backside 12. Into the front side 12.
Jamie Anderson earns her 6th X Games gold medal, the 17th of her career. Women's ski figure. TESS LEDEUX with the gold medal.
One of the most impressive ever seen.
HENRIK winning a 6th X Games gold medal.
Oh my gosh.
What just happened?
If there's a chair near me, I'm gonna break it.